Hello guys, welcome to Dr. Devil. So if you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get the notification. Moving to our today's first story posted by Bartolo Sweat Socks. Okay, I don't know that this actually counts as revenge, because I was honestly just trying to get the money I was owed. I wasn't trying to drop a nuclear bomb on the guy's life in the process. That's what ended up happening, though. Some years back I ended up doing work for this guy I'll call Duck. It was just a side job for extra money, not my career or anything. Duck had a small business. It's boring, I won't get into any of that. Before me, he had one other employee, so I made two. Just two employees, that's how small a business it was. The thing was, Duck ran his business like shit. I didn't know the specifics of his financial situation, but based on where he lived, the car he drove, etc., he was doing pretty well. Maybe it was an inheritance or whatever, I didn't know. But his situation wasn't due to this business, which again, he ran like shit. He ran the business like such utter shit that after about 6 months after I started doing work for him, the business wasn't making money anymore. So instead of regular payments like usual, the other employee and I had to start asking where our money was before it showed up. Then the payments started getting more and more behind. Eventually, I was owed around $500. Then one day the other employee tells me I'm done. He owes me like $5,000 and I'm not going to keep working for nothing. I was like whoa shit, because I had no idea he was owed that much. The trouble with pay went back farther than I knew. So Duck ended up coming to me and said, look, I owe the other guy money and I need to pay him. Do you mind if I get him all paid up, which means I gotta hold off on your pay for a month or two. But once he's paid off I swear I'll make it all up to you. Because I'm a ducking idiot, and because I felt bad about the first employee who was a good dude, I said fine, go ahead. So I didn't get paid at all for a while, which upped my total owed to about $1,500. Then eventually I heard from the other employee and he told me Duck finally paid him everything he was owed. Great, I thought, now it's my turn, lol. A few weeks after I heard the other employee was paid up, which I only ever heard from him, never from Duck. Duck told me he was closing the business. Which didn't shock me at all, surely it had been losing money for quite a while. I go, okay, so where's my money? And I told him exactly how much he owed me. I got back, well, the thing is, I can't pay you now, but. This went on for a year. I looked into what my steps were legally, but I'd have had to file something in small claims court and it's only $1,500, and having to get a lawyer would probably eat up most of it. So I just kept bugging Duck about the money. I was like, hey, pay me $25 a month, I don't care. But he wouldn't even do that. He told me about how he's gotta go through all this stuff to dissolve the business and everything, and he'll pay me as soon as he can, and overall he just avoided taking any responsibility. At one point he said something about how people were currently suing him, big shock, and he'd get me in contact with his lawyers if I wanted so my debt could be added in or something. I said, fine, give me their names/numbers. He never did. Eventually, I realized that nothing was ever going to come of this and I was just gonna be out the money I was owed. But while I'd been doing the work for him, I had emailed back and forth with his wife maybe a dozen times. To this day I've never met his wife, never even spoken with her. Just communicated through email and text. But she seemed nice and she'd told me something like, Duck won't tell you this, but he doesn't know what he's doing with this business and I know you've been a big help. So I just got the idea that you know what, this next email I send Duck about trying to get my money, I'm gonna include his wife on it too. So she knows how much he sucks. I heard back from her almost right away and she was like, I'm so sorry about this, please keep me posted on what happens. Then suddenly, magically, Duck started talking about working out a payment schedule. He started sending me $100 every month and the debt got down to $1,000. I figured his wife must have got on his bum about it and I laughed to myself about how whipped Duck was. But then the money stopped coming again. The excuses started coming again. One day he told me that he was just going through a hard time financially right now, which I knew was bullshit. He still had the nice car, the nice house, etc. But it's not like I had a printout of his bank records I could call him out on. On that same day he told me that though, I was watching the local pro team's baseball game later that night and who did I see but Duck. In great seats no less, second row right down in front, just off to the right. Every time they zoomed in on a right-handed batter, you could see him. And this was in September in the midst of a playoff race, so those tickets were not cheap. It's no Perry Mason moment, but the thought of replying to his, "I'm having financial trouble," email with a picture of him in those seats and me being like, "Yeah, I can see that," gave me a raging justice boner. So I was looking for a good image of him to use, but every time I paused the video his face got somewhat out of focus. It was him if you watched the video, but I needed a still image that was also clearly him. Then in the 7th inning, a foul ball got caught about 2 rows behind him and they zoomed in on that area of the crowd. And there was Duck clear as day, sitting with his wife. I'm thinking, aha, I got you now, mother ducker. The next morning I replied to his prior message by sending that screen capture to him. I figured even if I didn't get my money, at least I had that one sweet moment of satisfaction of busting him there. Then almost at the last second, I decided to send it to his wife too, just so she knew what was going on and how the money had stopped again. And remembering how quickly Duck's tune had changed that first time I'd included her, I even thought that maybe her being in the picture would make her light an even hotter fire under his bum this time. So I sent it, but I didn't hear anything back from either of them. 2-3 days went by, and nothing. Then I heard from the other employee I'd worked with. He goes, "You hear about Duck?" I said, "No, what?" His wife kicked him out and filed for divorce. I'm like, a holy duck, no way. Yeah, apparently she caught him cheating on her. I thought, I wonder how. Do you know what would be crazy? What if that wasn't his wife in that picture, and I sent her that picture and lol, no way. He was probably talking about the divorce when he mentioned having financial trouble. That would make sense. The divorce was already in the works before the picture. Yeah. There's no chance whatsoever that I inadvertently told his wife he was cheating on her. LOL, I mean, come on, right? Nope, that was literally what had happened. The woman at the game with him. Not his wife. His wife knew the woman though and knew that Duck had lied about where he was that night and who he was with. And a shitstorm of epic proportions quickly followed. I ended up emailing her not long after and being like, hello there, I've been hearing some things and I can't help thinking that picture I sent might have been part of this. And she said she'd been meaning to contact me, she thanked me, said she'd wanted out of the marriage anyway, and said she might need me as a witness. I didn't know what for, divorce-like trials. But anyway, she paid me the $1,000 he owed me, plus another $500 on top. I don't know if she thought he still owed me $1,500 or if she purposely gave me extra. And I didn't have to be a witness for anything, which was good. Also, Duck's nice car and a nice house and all. His wife was the one with the money. Meaning that he no longer has it. They got divorced and he moved away and I have no idea what became of him. Honestly, considering everything that happened, I feel kinda bad for him. But then I remember there's no reason he couldn't have just paid me. Seriously, why not just pay? He had the money, I just chalk it up to Duck having a lot of negative karma coming his way and I played a part in it catching up with him. TLDR, I sent my deadbeat ex-boss, and his wife, a picture of himself in great seats at a sports game to disprove his claim that he had financial problems and that's why he couldn't pay me. He was with a woman who was not his wife. His wife went ape, son. Here are some comments. First commenter, Inked Fiend. That's karma at her most beautiful. Plus, you helped wife out of a crap marriage to a crap person, so even more good karma for you. Second commenter, Surfing Mike. That's the best revenge, accidental but well deserved. Third commenter, Star Moishi. This is the sweetest kind of revenge, accidental, it was great that you called to clear things up and all too. Fourth commenter, Vegas Banner. Holy shit, this is one for the history books. Glad I got here early, enjoy the flood of karma coming your way, man. Fifth commenter, JLENA429. Wow, that's awesome, I wish I would have been able to do this to a boss I had back in the day that did the same thing to me. To this day he owes me over 1,000. But he's too damn ugly for any woman to want to chat with him. But hey, at least one deadbeat boss got his karma, maybe mine will too someday. Hello viewers, if you love this revenge story, please give it a like and comment your views about it, and subscribe to the channel if you want more revenge stories. Now getting forward to our final story posted by Mayhem Anthem. Let's start the story with some background. For 7th and 8th grade, I went to a college prep school. It was a top-of-the-line, prestigious school. In fact, not only did you have to interview and pass an exam to even get accepted, the only classes offered were honors and advanced placement. I was very excited to go to a new school for 7th grade. This school was 7 to 12, as unfortunately, I dealt with many cases of bullying at my old school, ergo, I was far ready for a change. I was especially giddy in that it was such a long process to get in. The thing I most hated about previous schools is that I had always been faced with people who didn't take academics as seriously as I did. I was a straight A student for all of my junior high and high school career. I thought that everyone at this preparatory would be as dedicated, professional, and as eager to learn as I was. But of course, I thought wrong. I hadn't taken into account the sheer numbers of students that were enrolled not because they wanted to, but because their parents wanted them to. These were not hard-working students, and as I came to find out, that was the most common case among people enrolled in the school. Regardless, it was an alright experience. Except for 7th grade. 7th grade was a hellish nightmare in its entirety. I came into the school thinking, you know what? I don't care if people don't like me. I like me, and that's what matters. I'm not going to change myself for everyone else anymore. Acting like someone I was not was a very usual thing for me before. With all the bullying, it was my way of life. For those wondering, I got bullied for being odd. I had a head accident when I was a bit younger, and it resulted in FAS, foreign accent syndrome, compulsion, and other similar behaviors. I wasn't very carefree like other kids. I was cautious and paranoid, and I had funny accents. Through everything, I was the school-wide freak. When I first arrived, I was determined to be myself, my weird, freaky, insane, loving self, despite my instincts to keep my walls up. I said to myself, it'll be different. It's been a while since I've let my guard down. Who knows, it might be awesome. 7th grade me was much too innocent. But surprisingly, it went well for the first quarter. I was popular. By no exaggeration, everyone knew my name, both students and staff. For the first time in my entire life, I always had people to sit with at lunch, and everyone laughed at my jokes. I was happy. And then the second quarter. The second quarter was a huge mess filled with drama. Basically, there was this group of slightly older kids who befriended me and then a week later began psychologically manipulating me. They began feeding me lies about ghosts and demons and how one of them possessed our friend. The rest of the quarter was her claiming to be either herself with horrid memories of the demon or the demon itself. Long story short, my parents found out what was going on and crucified me. My father yelled and threatened and beat me. My mother destroyed my room. Both told me, how could you have been such a stupid witch? To be used like this. Yes, I grew up in an abusive and hostile house, but that is a completely different story. I returned to the third quarter broken. I had built my walls back up. Also, I was not popular anymore. The group of kids had demanded so much of my time for their BS drama that I was distant from everyone else, and well, they moved on. I suffered through the third quarter. I had 3 friends. That was all. This specific story takes place on the last day of the third quarter. I was in the 5th hour when I got called up to the office. Now, even though my popularity crashed among the students, it soared among the faculty. I always was good at speaking with adults, especially for my age. Having abusive parents matures you very quickly. Even the janitors knew me. I went up to a room where the principal and counselor were. The school was small enough we only had one counselor, and they began asking me questions about my first friend. I had met her on the first day of school. We somehow had 4 sixth classes together and had some things in common, so we made friends and always did our projects together. I didn't sit with many people at lunch, but I sat with her. I will call her Piper. Around the second quarter, I didn't like her as much, and by the third quarter, I didn't like her but had to put up with her since it would be horrible to have an enemy in 2/3 of your classes. After a few general questions, how is your relationship? Have you ever fought? All right, I guess /no, but there have been a couple of times recently where she has shoved me, but I think it's all okay. The principal left and Piper came in. The counselor asked Piper to tell me what she told them, and she went on to say, mayhem. I've been afraid to go to school, because of you, because you've threatened me with firearms. She starts to cry. I am shocked. I'll spare you my mental breakdown and give you this. Basically, Piper didn't want to be my friend anymore, so she told the school that I threatened her on multiple occasions, saying that I would shoot her with a gun. I was mortified, mostly because of how I was raised. Aside from the abusive home life, my father was in the Navy. He raised my brother and me to always respect guns. We went to the shooting range twice a week because we were on a team for trap/skeet. He taught us that there's a whole category of subjects dedicated to not making jokes about them, and guns are on that list. I was being accused of everything. I stood against all while I did nothing wrong. My 6th-hour class was throwing a party to celebrate the end of the quarter. I didn't go. Instead, I cried in the counselor's room. Piper went though, perfectly fine, being in that class as well. I sobbed and sobbed. Once Piper left, the counselor began comforting me, telling me that she knew I was a good kid and that Piper was young. She skipped a grade so she was a year younger than me, and didn't understand what she did. Do you know how she knew Piper was bullshitting? She sat next to me at lunch the day before. The counselor walked by and saw us interacting perfectly normally. You don't sit next to someone who makes you afraid to go to school. She didn't have any proof of me ever threatening her, and she couldn't even pinpoint a time when I supposedly did. At the end of the day, she told me to try and enjoy my spring break. Yeah, right. I had a mental breakdown the entire time. Thank you, Piper, for ruining my spring break. I had 2 friends. When I returned to school 2 weeks later, a mess and dead, Piper had the smuggest, most happy look on all the time. I had to deal with it and avoid her in 4/6 classes. What I later figured out was that she used the excuse she did because I am Middle Eastern. My dad is Arab, so my skin is slightly olive tinted. She accused me of being a terrorist because I was Middle Eastern. When I figured this out, I almost threw up. The kicker of this entire thing, she didn't get in trouble. Nope. Not even a stern talking to. I mean, I didn't get in trouble because I did nothing wrong, but she didn't get in trouble for making that big of an accusation up. Absolute bullshit. To top it all off, my second friend excommunicated me because Piper did the "it's her or me" thing, and you can guess what happened. I had only one friend. Until the end of 7th grade, I hated my home life, I hated my school life, and I was suicidal. 8th grade was better, but since not much happened, other than me and my one friend talking trash about Piper, I'll skip to my freshman year since this is where the revenge starts. I was at a new school but still kept in touch with my one friend, I'll call her Luna, and made more new friends at my new school, having yet another fresh start. I began to forget about Piper, but since Luna and I always talked much trash, Luna would message me to rant about her and send whatever awkward, cringy pictures she posted on her social media for us to make fun of them. I wanted her to at least be given some sort of, "Hey, what you did wasn't okay." And then I came up with my plan, my perfect plan. I needed Luna to help me pull this off since I had left that school and she still attended, but I knew exactly what to do. I type up a page-long letter to Piper but without actually using her name. I said I was Karma in the first line and signed it like that. I didn't swear, I kept classy while saying stuff like, "Is this who you want to be? Are you satisfied with yourself?" And I made it ominous and creepy. All I told her to do was right her wrongs. I didn't want to threaten her, and I didn't, but she made me cry every day for 2 weeks. I just wanted the same. I played with the font style to get it to match the message and I sent it to Luna, both of us using our incognito emails that no one knew about. She was fully on board with helping Piper get her dose of karma. Side note, Luna didn't like Piper and would always complain about how terrible she was to me, but was always nice to her. She faked being her friend because she also hated confrontation, and she faked it pretty well. Luna printed out the letter and crumpled it into a ball. And we waited. On the last day of the 3rd quarter, she slipped it into her backpack anonymously so she would see it when she went home, an important detail. It was like a happy 2-year anniversary from when she made me officially suicidal in the 7th grade. Here starts the revenge. The next morning, I woke up to my phone being blown up with messages, all from Luna. Holy shit, itb ducken worked homga, and other things. I was both excited and nervous. She sends me screenshots of Piper messaging her, freaking out. Piper was having a breakdown, just like yours truly did, and was contacting the school. Since Luna was also Piper's friend in all this, Piper kept her up to date with everything, like she didn't know what was going on. Therefore, Luna kept me posted. I witnessed her go insane through Luna for 2 weeks. Best spring break probably ever. On the first day back, Luna had lots to tell me. She said there were police at the school, and the whole day students were getting called up to the office. Meanwhile, Piper was bawling her eyes out. This evidentially continued for the whole week, but to no luck. There was no handwriting on the paper, and technically since her name wasn't on the paper, there wasn't much the school could do. I mean, for all they could know, she could have just written the paper herself. And that's what the rest of the school thought. After calling students up to the office for a solid 2 weeks, the whole operation stopped. Piper was pissed. Piper's parents tried to sue the school for not doing enough. They never were able to though, for lack of sufficient evidence. From everyone else's point of view, there's this girl who went home one day and came back after spring break with this random creepy letter and started accusing half of the school of being out to get her. Now, most people hated her. It started with everyone that got called up. They were pissed because they had Piper pointing her grubby fingers at them and had the school giving them dirty looks as well. When they were cleared, they would rant to all their friends about how bogus the entire situation was. People began theorizing that Piper wrote the letter herself to get attention by playing the victim and become popular. Sure enough, after police withdrew after 2 weeks, Piper was moaning and groaning to everyone. "Yeah, I can't believe someone is stalking me. It was so scary and the police won't even do anything." Everyone gave her dirty looks. Luna told me that when she went to sit at a table once, everyone looked at her and stood up without saying anything to her. I thought it would finish here, but no, it gets way better. Luna messaged me the best idea I had ever heard. Luna, holy shit, I have an idea. Me, what's up? Luna, what if I spill the tea about what happened to you with her in 7th grade? Me, why? Luna, because then they'll hate her. I mean, you were not very popular in 8th grade, but you were kinda hit. PPL knew your name and that you were a straight A student and nice. Everyone knew you were the teacher's pet in every class and that the staff loved you. What you think? Me, holy shit, you're right. Luna, I know I'm a genius. Me, I love you so much, Luna. Luna, I know you're still my best witch. To hell with Piper. Me, Satan's going home, baby. I know we were weird, still are too. Luna went around spreading what happened and of course, people were going insane. They couldn't believe it, so a few other people knew me messaged me for the first time in a while and asked me either, "Hey Mayhem, just out of curiosity, why did you stop being friends with Piper?" or straight up, "What happened in 7th grade between you and Piper?" I confirmed everything and the school went haywire. Ballistic. Everyone was pissed. By the next week, a petition went around the school to get Piper expelled. It got 1,000 ducking signatures. With a school as small as it was, that was about 60% of the entire student body. 2 weeks later, the school smugly expelled her. Her parents tried to fight it, but the school claimed that her presence was causing disruption in what's supposed to be a learning environment. Also brought back up the false claims they made against me 2 years before and used this as Piper having a history of creating trouble without any evidence. And she was expelled. The school rejoiced and I was never even suspected of anything tied to the letter. After all, I was on the other side of town and as far as anyone knew, not in contact with anyone from that school. I took Luna out to eat as a celebration of our victory and we had the best time. She's still probably my best friend today and she even moved out of state with me after I graduated high school. We were roommates for a while too before I moved out with Sarge, boyfriend. Here are some comments. First commenter, Enemy Ear. I feel like this need is nuclear revenge for that you ruined her life after she tried to sabotage yours. Second commenter by Maxantiana Fan. That's some awesome revenge, wow. Third commenter, Chi_. This made me so happy. I wish I could do this to all my bullies for making me pull my eyebrows out. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and comment below. If you don't want to miss such more videos, please don't forget to subscribe to us.